Greg, who's a viewer of this channel, is having some great results with fasting, and I thought I'd share them with you. I hope they can be encouraging to you. I want everyone that is coming here to have the best experience that they can, and I hope you can have some great results as well. I'm Phil, it's Dr. Zimmermann if we haven't met, and I'm hanging out today having a coffee and fasting, and I'll tell you, this is the way. So check out some of these comments with me. Greg says, just the other day, I started fasting by watching your channel. I found the gentle approach and positive attitude very encouraging. Well, this is very encouraging to me because this is exactly what I'm going for. Fasting can be a discipline. Fasting itself is an aggressive practice, which I'm very happy about because many times in order to accomplish something profound in the body, we need something aggressive. But what I've found over the years is that a thoughtful, calm, low-stress approach is absolutely the way to approach it so that you can dial it in a long-term approach. And so I'm encouraged that it comes across that way. My bold move was also quitting alcohol and processed foods the same day. That is incredibly bold, and I say congratulations. These are just the best things that you can do for health. And in a separate comment, he gives some color on that decision. He says, my intention was to live my best life, looking my best, tilt the odds in my favor, reducing the chance of disease, losing weight. It became an obsession, but it never seemed to work. Many people experience that. Fasting was the answer. I feel like it reprogrammed my brain. I was able to quit a heavy drinking habit within a few weeks of starting fasting. I didn't think it was possible, but I'm living proof. What an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's really inspiring. I'll tell you, it's not the first time that I've heard that. And I've certainly not going to hype anything and say, oh, just fast and it's going to solve every drinking problem. It's certainly not like that. I've had many people who are doing fasting who couldn't stop drinking who really needed to, for example. But I have had people like this who say, man, when I got into this, it was like a reset for my body. That's how I view fasting, especially when you approach it from a very thoughtful perspective. Fasting is like a big reset. And what I try to help people experience, slow and steady weight loss over time, but sometimes you get some bonus things like this, and this is a huge bonus, and I'm just real proud of you for making that bold move, absolutely. Greg says, it's funny, I struggled to lose weight from 2012 until recently, usually taking a long list of supplements, exercising excessively, and feeling guilty when it didn't work. Thank you for sharing that. I have to tell you that feeling guilty about weight and weight loss or failed weight loss attempts, it's so common and so many people struggling with this issue. And it just feeds on itself and kind of spirals. And every time someone tries something and it's not working, it's kind of like another layer of failure that can be added on. And so just acknowledging that this is kind of the space that so many people are in is something that I really want to move toward on this channel to help people. I mean, even if someone never had success losing weight, to find love and self-acceptance in and of itself, apart from any success or failure in a weight issue is something that is a top priority to me. Over 70% of our population is overweight or obese, and a large percentage of people are trying their very best to solve that problem, and yet we're not having the success that we want. And I think the medical system in general puts a lot of burden on people. I think there's a lot of guilt that is just inflicted on people. You know, if you would just work harder, if you would just do these things, and that doesn't help people. What we need is better information. Greg hits the nail on the head going here. Not surprisingly, you explained approaches like that are bound to fail. I would say, most of the time. There's, never say never. Every once in a while, I run into someone, at least for some period of time, doing a lot of exercising, something like this that can have some, at least short-term success. And I'm sure there's some people out there that can do that in the long term. But for most people, yeah, this is why we're in the state that we're in. Says, you opened my eyes explaining that fasting involves a free, easy way to make small steps toward a goal and live your best life. It's awesome. This is what I want for everyone. I want people thriving, living their best life. And I hope that we can really build a community here. This is what I would love the most, a community of people sharing their experiences, both successes and difficulties. Can we help people do that? So I'm going to be working on that. As I was just looking through all these kind comments from Greg and thinking about it, I clicked through to his channel, and he does some music. I enjoyed listening to that, and I thought, in honor of Greg and his great work, I'd just feature a song that he's playing. And so I'll leave you with just a snippet of that. If you want to check the rest of that out or go say hi to him on his channel, I'll give you a link to that. And then I'll put a few positive little quotes that I've been thinking about this week in there as we close things out. So I hope these thoughts and comments are encouraging to you wherever you're at on your journey. I just want you to know that you're welcome here. And I'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Well, I've been out walking. I don't do that much talking these days. These days I seem